Good morning and happy Wednesday. We are at the middle of the week, and our subtitle is called A Call to Action. Question 4a. In view of God's amazing care for a world steeped in strife, what call to action must we accept from 1 Corinthians 12:13? And here it says, "For by one Spirit we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been made to drink into one Spirit." And Romans chapter 11, 1 to 4. And it says, "I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God had not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not what the scriptures say of Elias, how he maketh an intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and am left alone, and they seek my life. But what said the answer of God unto him? I have reserved unto myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal." So, in view of God's amazing care, I'm going to read it again. For a world steeped in strife, what call to action must we accept? That whether we are Jews or Gentiles, God has a work for us, and he wants us to be co-workers with him in the last message of salvation to a world that is perishing, a world that is dying. And we as Christians need to be able to have that desire to work for the Lord. Let companies now be quickly organized to go out two and two and labor in the Spirit of Christ, following his plans. Even though some Judas may introduce himself into the ranks of the workers, the Lord will care for the work. His angels will go before and prepare the way. Before this time, every large city should have heard the testing message, and thousands should have been brought to a knowledge of the truth. Wake up the churches, take the light from under the bushel. We are the men who will work and study and agonize in prayer as did Christ. Where we are not to confine our efforts to a few places. If they shall persecute you in one city, flee to another. Let Christ's plan be followed. He was ever watching for opportunities to engage in personal labor, ever ready to interest and draw men to a study of the Scripture. He labored patiently for men who had not an intelligent knowledge of what is truth. While we are not awake to the situation, and while much time is consumed in planning how to reach perishing soul, Satan is busy devising and blocking the way. Too much labor has been put forth in the plants in a few favored localities. Let not so large an expenditure of means and of time has been devoted to be given to other places. Question B. Explain what is to be our attitude and duty towards the Jewish people living today. Romans 11:5. Even so then, at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. And 11, verse 11, so Romans 11:11, and it says, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. And 17 to 21. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree, boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare thee not. So, what is our attitude toward the and duty toward the Jewish people? They were here, according to Romans, it says that um, they were broken off because they did not follow um, the command that God has given them to go and disperse, to give the gospel to the world, and the Gentiles have been grafted in, but we are to be co-laborers with them, co-workers. It says the work for the Jews, as outlined in the 11th chapter of Romans, is a work that is to be treated with special wisdom. It is a work that must not be ignored. The wisdom of God must come to our people. In all wisdom and righteousness, we must clear the king's highway. The Jews are to be given every opportunity of coming to the light. Question C. How does God's management reveal his mercy? Romans 11:22-25. So we're still in the same chapter, Romans 11. And now we're going to go to 22-25. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of God on them which fell, severity. But towards thee, goodness, if thou continue in his goodness, otherwise thou also shalt be cut off. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. For if thou wert cut out of the olive tree which is wild by nature, and wert grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these which be the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in our own conceits, that blindness is in part is happiness to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. So the Lord has a plan for the people of Israel, for the kingdom of Israel. He wants them to the kingdom, because they're not a kingdom anymore. They don't have a king, but the nation. He wants them to be a part of, to come back to the original plan of salvation, to be a part of the people of God. And they have, first of all, they were the ones, according to Romans 11, says they were taken off because of the tree, of the branches were ripped off because they did not obey. And then the Gentiles were like grafted in. But if the Gentiles are not doing their work, and we're going to be cut off too. So we have to be careful not to say, oh, we were grafted into the olive tree, which the olive tree is Jesus, and we were grafted in there. And then now that we're not doing the work, we're going to be broken off, and, other people will be grafted in. And it says that the people of Israel, that the nation of Israel, the Jewish people, they were the original branches, and God says, I will graft them back in. So our job is to work together. Our job is to hasten the coming of the Lord, is to be able to put hand in hand and let's go and do the work, because Jesus is coming soon and we have to get ready so we can meet him. I hope you have a blessed day, and until tomorrow, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.